Okay, this is K6ST Barry, the president of SNARS, for the September 2024 meeting. We're recording this, and the people here at the restaurant can't see it because of a display issue, but we have this for the recording. So the September meeting, we start with the financials. I won't read them, but we have plenty. I'll just say the total amount we have is $29,401. So it's everything's going good. Anything you want to say, Doug?
No, I do want to give a plug.
Yeah, we'll get our treasurer Doug on the mic here. Thanks.
Yeah, we're looking pretty good. Thanks everybody for renewing. I did want to give a plug to the folks at TalkPod. They reached out to us and Barry got back to them, and long story short is they donated 5 836 plus radios. I took one of them and made it a SNARS asset, and I put in, so I kept all the GMRS frequencies that they had programmed in, unlocked it, and put the ham frequencies above for the repeater system. They're really easy to program. And at the ham slot, we have 3 that we bought plus the 4. I'm going to give away 1 or 2 of them. And I have their electronic brochure and such. I'll print a couple out for people to look at. Really great radios. You can get them with a full kit of accessories for about $60 on Amazon, etc., or the TalkPod site themselves. They also have other options. So if you're interested in other kinds of GMRS options, they have a lot. Really cool little radio. Was able to hit P-Vine from inside my house on some nets with just their rubber ducky with no advanced antenna, and great little easy to use, easy to program radio. And it's a lot better quality than a Baofeng.
Okay, thanks. Yes, they were very good about reaching out to us. I had borrowed one of these TalkPods. Anybody have a TalkPod here? No. Oh, you have one? Can you bring it up for a sec? Okay, so just describe, just really quick, Kyle, just describe what it is, get to the mic, and how you like it.
It's sold as a GMRS radio, but it's got the ability to get unlocked, and then that opens up the frequencies for 2 meters and 70 centimeters. It is within specs for the FCC, but because it's sold as GMRS, I actually have one for my son who is not licensed, and then we can operate together on GMRS frequencies. But then my wife has one as well. It's unlocked. He's a ham. So we all have the same radio. We can all communicate, just make sure that we're all on the right bands. So, and it's got the removable antenna, so you can put a larger whip on it. Any other questions?
Okay, super light. Thank you so much.
It can be programmed with
Besides green,
yes, and clear.
Green, black, and clear, and it can be programmed with chirp.
Yeah, sure. Super simple, super light. I borrowed one temporarily from John Barley, and I thought it was good. I got on the radio on the repeater, and one day Doug had a spectrum analyzer or a FCR, and he looked at it and he said it was very clean. Anyway, check his out, Kyle. Thank you so much.
What was the model number?
It's called TalkPod 836 Plus. If you buy them on Amazon, I think if you just buy the rate.
I looked yesterday, they're $59 each.
59.
That includes the charging cable and all that kind of stuff.
Lightweight, really cool. Okay, next on my screen, it's so funny. They can see it on Zoom, and we'll record it. We have 409 members, 290 of them are ARRL members, which is about 71%. And we've got 6 new members in the past 30 days. We have 46 volunteer examiners. You can go onto snars.org and look at the membership stats anytime they're live. Okay, as you probably all know, the ham swap is coming up a week from today at Cabela's, Saturday, September 14th, in the East parking lot. Thank you, Wes, and your team for helping to do that. Looks like it's going to be sunny and the weather should be perfect, not too hot. So come one, come all. If you register ahead of time, as a seller, it's $10 to sell, and you get a parking space. If you register ahead of time and pay for it, then you can put what you have for sale and it's on the website. You don't need to register ahead of time. You can just come the day of. And on my next screen, which is also on the website, the timing is 7 a.m. for sellers, $10 if you want to sell for a spot. 8 a.m. For the buyers, free to browse and come by. 9 a.m. Cabela's opens, which means the bathroom should be open, although there is a, just across the way, there's a gas station. And then at 10 o'clock, we're going to be giving out, so we have some raffles, including some of the talk pots. Plus other things. So check it out. Somebody asked me a while ago, what determines if it's a good swap? And I said, number one is weather. I said, and with no smoke, right? And I said, number two, it's not in conflict with like a holiday weekend or some other big event. And then it's just getting the word out. We'd be getting the word out. Tony got it onto the ARRL website, so hopefully we get plenty of people. It's an ARRL sanctioned ham fest, so they ARRL supports us, and the talk-in frequency is the SNARS 147210 PL 100 P line or the DMR talk group 31328. Talked to Tony this week on the phone, W7XM, that I think you all probably know. He's the secretary of the club, and he's also the Pacific Division director. He thinks he'll be up. He didn't have all the details, but we'll find out. Now, I asked Derek. Is Derek here, by the way? Okay, I asked Derek, come up for about a minute or two to talk. If he and his compatriots that do SOTA and POTA, Summits on the Air and Parks on the Air, would do a demonstration and a Q&A at the SWAT to talk to people that are POTUS and to explain, because there's a lot of people. So I'm going to have Derek give it just a minute or two of what it is, and he's going to give some training on it when we next week. Thanks, Derek.
Yeah, so I do a lot of SOTA and a lot of POTA. So I'm going to have my POTA set up there. There's different ways of doing everything, right? So, but you know, you come by and see what I've got and give you some ideas, you know, and I'll be talking with people. Can't do a POTA activation there because that's not a POTA park, and it's clearly not a SOTA summit. but I'll have the gear set up and I'll have a couple radios, and you know, people can just see what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and ask questions. And if I can be of help, I'd be happy to. And there are a couple other guys will be with me.
Okay, great. So Derek W7DLZ, Craig AE7I, and Bobby W6IWN will be there. I think Bobby's going to bring his video recorder and record that. So we'll have it. Also want to say that for SOTA or POTA, you can do it as a technician. First of all, you have 10 meters and 6 meters. The other is when Bobby started doing the SOTAs and the POTAs, the SOTAs on the hills, he was a technician. He actually hauled up like a 50-watt radio and a good-sized battery. You can do it with an HT. I think Derek talked to some guys on an HT the other day on a Simplex and talked down to the Bay Area. So it's a lot of fun. So come and check them out. And I just want to let Wes know, he's just, okay, you got it solved. Thanks. So that's next weekend. I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be out doing the VHF UHF contest with Todd H2TJ here up on a hill. So have a great swap meet, and then when you're done, if you want, get on a VHF or UHF and work some guys for the VHF contest. Okay, October the 4th and 6th, 4th through 6th is the Reno Air Show. As many of you probably know, the Reno races went bye-bye from here. Possibly because of there was like a big accident, but it's been coming. Well, I'm getting no, it's not the accident. It's been coming. The bad news is it left. The good news is they're going to do an air show this year. So it's October 4th through 6th out at Stead Airport. If you work a minimum of 5 hours at a gate or whatever they do, you can go see the rest of the show. So you don't need to be a ham. So you can have some friends or other people come and be part of that. So they'll do it on some of the other non-ham frequencies. You go to washoaries.com, washoeares.org, washoaries.org. And there's across the top, there's a little, a picture of of the Reno Air Show. Click on it and register. Okay, the Nevada QSO Party, I'm going to give a quick a piece about this, but Jim's going to talk about it in our presentation since our video thing isn't working today. It's coming up the 11th to the 13th of October, which is the second full weekend, and it'll be great. We'll have Jim talk about that in a moment. Okay, then the weekend of the 18th to the 20th is Pacificon. Pacificon is the Pacific Division Amateur Radio Conference. It's in San Ramon, California, in the East Bay of San Francisco. So those that want to go, please come down. It's the largest West Coast convention. It's about 5 hours from here, so I know it's not super close, but if you decide to go, it is drivable. So check that out. And thanks to some of our stars folks, Chuck WD6CHC is going to head up the table that we have down there. Kim, his wife, is also who's the stars membership person, is going to be there. Ken K7KBJ, who does the Preppers Net on Wednesday, and Stacy's going to be there. So if you happen to be there, come by and help us. Anybody think they're going down to Pacificon? Okay, I'll be there. Tony will be there. So very good. We'll have a good plug. By the way, there are people that we see there and that become members because we're down there. There are other clubs also. Some people have a second house in Tahoe or Truckee. There's more and more people that are looking at moving up to Nevada. So it's a good way to get the word out. Okay, the next one is Jamboree on the Air, October 19th for us here. It's actually the 18th to the 20th. Jamboree on the Air is an annual scouting event that uses amateur radio to link scouts around the world in Canada and other communities. The last number of years, a few of us have been doing it with a local church here. I'm going to be gone, so I won't be able to do it. But if there's one or two or three people that wants to help for a few hours, I can get you connected. Anybody think they might want to help on Saturday, the 19th of October, for a few hours in the morning to help for Jamboree on the Air? Just get hold of me. Really fun to see the kids talk to each other and around the world. Okay, now we're going to open for comments. First, anybody have a comment here at the restaurant? So come up so we can get you on the mic. Any comments here in person? Okay, I have one, but I have a question. Can you come up for a sec, Greg? I know you're eating. I want Greg to give a quick plug about he's got a new radio, but also about his D-Star repeater. We have a D-Star repeater on, is it Davidson? Yeah. Oprah? Yeah, and then we have one star, and then Greg put one up on Peavine. So give a plug or two for the Peavine one of that. Thanks.
All right, good afternoon or good morning, everybody. So, as everybody knows, that the club has a D-Star repeater that came from a silent key that's out on Davidson. That one has UHF, VHF. And then I went ahead, because the coverage is kind of limited once you get over this part of town, so I went ahead and put up a D-Star up on Lower Peavine, which has excellent coverage in Reno Sparks. Currently, currently it is connected to 30 Charlie, so it's very active. I do unlink the repeater at nighttime so we can always sleep. Otherwise, it will keep me up all night. But anybody who's interested in D-Star, ICOM just came out with the new 52 Plus, which is a little bit more advanced, has a little bit more features than the 52, which they brought out like 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. This is the 60th anniversary model, which I don't know if they still have them available. They were on a limited run. But for anybody who's interested in D-Star, they can come contact me, or they can email me, nt7q@snars.org, and I can walk them through how to use the D-Star. Right now, Kenwood and ICOM make the D-Star radios. The THD 74, THD 75 on the Kenwood line, they're a little bit more difficult to use, but on the ICOM, it's really easy. Right here on the bottom, you have what's called a DR function, and if you hold that down, you can do a couple of things. If you turn on the GPS unit with this radio, it will look at the worldwide repeater list and it will tell you where your local D-Star repeaters are, and then you can just assign it to the radio. And then to navigate to your reflectors, you would just move it up to the 2 portion, and then you can link unlink reflectors or go to direct gateways to where you can contact another repeater. So if I'm in Sacramento, I can go on the Sheriff's Department Sharp D-Star repeater, and I can do what's called a direct gateway call by putting in the W7DRFC in this, and I can talk to my wife, KK7M&O, through my repeater on a direct gateway connection, or we can talk through a reflector. So for some of you that might have these that use hotspots, if you already know how to use the hotspot, you will use the same thing, just that you'll put down to the from and you'll put the repeater in there instead. So if once again, anybody that's interested in getting D-Star or already has D-Star and wants to learn a little bit more about it, feel free to contact me, NT7Q, at nt7q@snars.org. And if anybody has any questions, let me know.
Okay, thanks. Super. Thank you so much. If you have a question, you got to come up here so we can get it on. Come on up. And I can't hear. You need to come up here. Sorry. I can't hear, and there's no video. We'll just get you on here, Kyle. Thank you.
Sure. Quick question. Does your repeater allow people to link and unlink the different reflectors?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Okay, it does. I want to do a quick show of hands. How many people might be interested in a class, a training on D-Star? Oh boy, a bunch. Maybe 40% of this. Maybe we've got about 30. Okay, big number. Okay, because we've been thinking about doing that maybe with Tony or you or whoever. Okay, then let's just do one more. Who wants a class or training on DMR? Hold your hands up. Okay, we'll do one of those. And who wants a class or training on Fusion? Okay, little. And, okay, Fusion, which is Yaesu. Those are all the 3 digital modes. And while we're at it, let's just see who wants a class or training on analog or analog systems. Okay, we've got a couple newbies here. Okay, great. And while I'm at doing the poll, who would like to do a class on like HF type stuff? Okay, good. Well, we'll look at some point, we'll look at doing some of these. There's been quite a few people asking about these. And one other thing, Greg, I asked Tony, and he said he would put the information about the repeater, the call, and all that info and the frequency up on the website. So sometime in the near future, it will be online. Okay, any other questions here at the meeting? Okay, good. Let's see. Does anybody? I gotta flip this over here. You want to see if anybody has anything out in Zoom land. So let's see. There's one thing. It says for those at home to see the presentation. Okay, so the question is about, will those at home be able to see the presentation? The answer is yes for the SNARS one, and for the presentation, we're going to move it for the Geocron to a different time because we couldn't get it working here. But we'll have it. You'll see Jim W6US talk about NVCon. Okay, any other questions? Let's see if, let me open this up. Any questions from those in over in Zoom? Just unmute yourself.
Barry, this is Jimmy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got one real quick question. I know we didn't get the demonstration on GeoCon, but what really is the difference between it and ham clock? Anybody know?
Anybody know that he's not here today? Anybody know about ham clock? Okay, can you come up here? We're gonna get an answer. We're gonna get NT7Q to answer that for you. Learning something new. There's a new term, ham clock. So you want to explain what geochron and ham clock is really quick?
All right, so geochron basically will show you where the shadow of the Earth is at the time based on where you're at. with the ham clock, you could do different, a couple of different things. And then one of the big major differences between Geochron and the ham clock is there's $400 and something for a Geochron versus $50 or $60 for a ham clock. Well, my wife bought me a ham clock for my birthday. And which is cool is because it gives you several different things that the Geochron won't show you up when you're looking at it right up on the main screen. There's one, you can see what your solar flares are doing, you can see your solar weather, you can see your magnetic readings and all the stuff that's there. And you can also see
The bands.
pops that are made between different stations for FT8 will show up where they're making connection. And if you wanted to see what a time zone is or where somebody's at, so you can take your pointer and you can click anywhere on that map and it will tell you what the date and the time is for where you clicked that. So that's why I like the ham clock, is because it's, to me, it's more useful. And then there will be different messages that will pop up that can be put in separate different windows, because you can select how you want your layout to be. So you could see, like if we're experiencing a magnetic storm, one of the things will pop up, it will rotate and show you what the different levels of magnetic energy and your plasma and all that stuff that's hitting the earth. It will tell you what your levels are. So when your HF bands suck, you can look and you go, oh crap, we're at a 9.8. No wonder my bands suck. But it's really informative. To me, I think that the ham clock gives you much more information than the Geochron does for a fraction of the price. Because I know I originally wanted a Geochron, and then she said, no, get this ham clock, it's cheaper. And I'm like, I don't know if I want cheaper. And I looked at it and saw how much more stuff it has on it. So I was very happy that she got that for me.
Don't go anywhere. Does that answer your question, Jimmy?
Yeah, I use ham clock myself, and I was just wondering, because I've never seen a Geochron, but one of the things that I like about ham clock too is you don't have to buy a device to run it on. If you have a computer, you can get the software that's free. So I personally bought the little Innovata ham clock that had it all and set up and configured. But I had never seen a Geochron before, so I was just wondering what the difference was. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Thanks, Greg. Okay, any other questions from our Zoom partners out there? Okay, let's move back to this screen here. So we were going to have Geochron. Again, we can't do it today because the display monitor, we can't access it here properly. So he's going to come back another time. And Jim Shepherd W6US said he's going to give a presentation, audio presentation. I'll bring the screen up for NVCon so it's at least on there. Okay, so we have some vendors, and please support them. DX Engineering, which is here in Sparks. They're in the Summit Racing location. We have Hammond Hi-Fi and also Chameleon Antennas. Thanks to our sponsors. We have 3 nets going on Monday through Friday, the noon net on the Link system. We have the digital net on DMR connected to our Fusion box. On Tuesday nights and Wednesday, we have on the 440 box on DMR, we have the D-Star net. Okay, so this completes this portion of the meeting. Now I'm going to bring up Jim, and Jim, let me if I can, let me bring up the NVCon. Thanks for pinch hitting. Let's see, it's 8:30, so you got probably up to a half hour. NVCon, so NVQSO, QSO.org. .com. A lot of URLs. Come on, baby, load. Can't reach it. Account suspended. Man, do we have a little bit of NVQSO.com, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe Murphy is really hanging around today. Find out. Okay, well, this is hysterical. We can't get to NVQSO.com today. but we do have Jim. So, thank you, Jim. Let's see what we want to bring up. I don't know what we want to bring up. Anything? Oh, that's an idea. Here, let's put Jim on the mic. I'll bring up the newsletter, and we'll put Jim on to talk a little bit about NVQSO. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Barry. We have actually a couple of major contests coming up that are of interest in this area. The first one will be on the first weekend there in October, which will be the California QSO Party. And a couple of us are headed over to California to activate some rare counties. There's 7 counties within an hour drive that can be activated. If you go on over and do that, please put Sierra Nevada ARS down as your club, because you get a roughly 60,000 point bonus for the club by doing that. And we get a couple of those put together and we have a chance to win a club title. They've got a way it's set up. So it's a lot of fun. I believe it's, you can just Google
CQP.org.
yeah, CQP.org. And that'll also, this is a good warm-up event to get going, because the following weekend is the biggest contest of the year, and that is the Nevada QSO Party. We really want to show folks that we actually have some hams in Nevada. And that we have 17 counties in the state, and we're trying to activate all of them. Back in May, we had the 7QP, and we managed to activate every single county in Nevada for the 7QP. So it shouldn't be a problem to do the same here for the Nevada QSO Party. It'll start at 8 o'clock local time on Friday night, and it will run through 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. The times were picked in order to let people get off work, have dinner, do whatever they want to do, put the kids in bed, and have a chance to get on the air. And that it ends up Sunday early enough, so if you go out in the field, you can get back home and have a chance to unwind and be ready for work on Monday morning. So it's we put that also to allow for solar conditions. As many of you know, we've been having some tremendous solar flares and stuff that has affected ham radio. And the North American QSO Party here a couple of weeks ago got hit with a real bad flare, and the scores are way down because of that. Having it over 2 days, our contest allows that we have a better chance of having one of the 2 days be good for making contacts. It's real easy. The basically what you have for an exchange is your 5.9 report or 5.99 if you're using CW and digital modes, and your county. The counties are started with an NV, so everyone knows it's Nevada, and that's a 3-letter designator, which is the first 3 letters of each county. So if you're here in Washoe, it would be NVWAS, and that works fine. You can work this from home. In fact, we want as many people on the air as possible. The more the merrier, it gets more activity from the rest of the folks. The people here in Nevada work the world. You get credit for even DX. If you get into the Japanese pretty good, that it can add some bonus points for you. And that. The propagation is usually pretty good for this sort of operation. And it's just a lot of fun to get out there and do it. You get multipliers for all the sections We have the ARRL sections as multipliers and the Radio Amateurs Canada, RAC sections up in Canada. As a result, there's 9 sections in California. Instead of just having 1 for CA, you'd have 9 sections, like LAX for Los Angeles, or SF for San Francisco, SV for Sacramento Valley, which would be actually includes trucking in most of the northeastern corner of California, so on and so forth. So there's a good opportunity to get on and make a lot of points. And yeah. The Nevada QSO Party's got one little feature that is kind of unique, and that is we're allowing the use of repeaters. So all you techs out there and can actually get on a repeater and make contacts. You're allowed to use link repeater systems, so you can talk around the world basically that way and come up with a pretty good score. And it's just a lot of fun. We do this to try to get people interested, because once you do it, you're hooked. And it's just a really good way to learn a little bit about contesting, talking to people in strange places. You know, especially with the foreign stations, you get so used to hearing funny the voices and funny accents. But anyway, it's just a good operation in that. It has the contesting has the applicability to emergency communications, because you have to log and correctly log the exchange from the other stations and their call time and that. That's a great way to learn how to hear it and then proceed to write it down or use a computer. And it's really a good learning experience. Good contest operators make excellent emergency service personnel because of that. The other modes, CW is great. Howie over here does a great job on that. He got bumped out by a high power station this year. He runs low power. We had a high power station down in Las Vegas that really put a big score in on CW for us. And that. The biggest thing is trying to get people out in all 17 counties. And that. There's places that maybe only would have one operator, that we could have 4 or 5 or 6. They can all be on different modes and provides a lot more activity. Mineral County is one that is ignored quite a bit. And that's a short drive. You can go down there to Walker Lake, put your camp up there on the shore, use the lake as a big reflector to help with the signal to the east and most of the country. And chance of seeing bighorn sheep while you're there. And just make a fun weekend out of it. You don't need to be, wham slam contester. You can shoot the breeze a little bit. You'll be able to find when people give their state and go, oh yeah, Wisconsin. I enjoyed going through there. It's a really pretty country. Do you do any fishing in the lakes up there? And you can have a chit chat. So it's not a high pressure contest. It's just a lot of fun to get out there and make contacts and enjoy yourself. So anyway, that's pretty much the basics of it. In terms of logging, your best bet is to use a computer. The N1MM program is absolutely properly set up to do the work. And it makes it real easy because it keeps track of the time, the frequency. If you have it plugged into your computer, the frequency, all this information, and you don't have to write that down. And works like a champ. Some of the others don't really do a good job on the Nevada QSO Party. And you definitely don't want to use a program that's designed for another contest like 7QP, because that will not log the sections properly. So use the N1MM. It's a free program and works really well. Areas of activity and time. You need to know a little bit about propagation. If you want to try to get California, Oregon, Utah, those basic areas, you're going to want to be on 40 meters in the early morning or late afternoon into the evening. Middle of the day, you're just not going to talk to them. Middle of the day, you're going to be on 20 and 15 and 10. Of course, the VHF, you're at the mercy of whatever link repeater system you get on to get out and around. So it's not as much of a problem. But pay attention to your propagation. You get out and make lots and lots and lots of contacts. And that. And awards. Oh, yes. You have a chance of making awards. One of the things we do with the contest is that everybody gets a certificate. And so you may end up with a first place certificate for a county. And that. If you really do good, you can end up with a first place for your particular mode statewide. And if you have over 50 contacts and do a statewide, that you get a plaque. And the plaques in the shape of Nevada, and they're very highly regarded. There's a few people in the room here I see that have one of these plaques hanging on their wall now. And it really is kind of good. It's one of the easier ones for folks in Nevada to get a plaque and that. And in order to get the recognition that goes along with that on the website and that. NVQSO.com is the website. It's it worked for me last night, so it should be up and running. And that. But anyway, all the rules are there, and there's some frequently asked questions, FAQs. Read those too, because there's a lot of information in there to be able to know more about how this contest is set up and how it works. So, okay, are there any questions here locally? All right, so y'all are experts on it. We can hope to see you there in the contest. FT4 and FT8? Nope. What? No, FT8 is not, the WSJTX are not allowed. There's a problem with coding the exchange to do it. We tried it for a couple of years and we had virtually zero participation, and it was a ton of work at this end to try to combine logs and that sort of thing. So we, like most of the state QSO parties, we aren't using FT8 or similar modes there on the Joe Taylor developed. But RIDI is allowed.
PSK 31.
And PSK 31, Olivia, so on and so forth. There's a whole bunch of digital modes out there that are allowable. And that we do need more participation on those bands, but a good opportunity. Again, the VHF, it's everybody involved. Good chance to give a try on some contesting, be able to give a report, and be able to copy the report. So it's a good training, actually. Any other questions? Any questions from the Zoom? I'll give it to Barry.
Thanks, Jim. Anybody on Zoom, just open your mic and speak up. Okay, there was a little behind the scenes problem with the website. just got hold of Tony. He and Doug are sorting out whatever, and it'll be back up. Just give it a little buckle. It's a really fun QSO party because we're very, Nevada's wanted. It's a small state. We actually have a lot of hams in northern Nevada. And who's run, by a show of hands, who's been on the Nevada QSO party before? Oh, quite a few people. Okay. Howie runs CW. Who runs phone? Wes runs phone. Who runs data? Anybody run data? Okay. A little bit of data out there. And who uses a logger? Anybody computer logging? Okay. Anybody use anything other than N1MM? What do you use?
N3FJP.
Okay, N3FJP. That's great. Thank you, Peter. Okay, it's a fun contest. It's got time you can start on Friday. Here's what I've done in the past, and that is, if I don't have a lot of time, I just work VHF. You can get on the analog repeater. I get on DMR. I talk to a lot of people. It's usually a one here and one there. But the beauty of it is I'm getting the information out to people. Oh, there's a Nevada QSO party. We get here into SNARS probably a dozen people during the year writing us saying, they need a QSO in Nevada. Can somebody get on? So it's a great time to do it. So any questions about the Nevada QSO party? Okay. Thanks, Jim, for pinch hitting since we couldn't do the other presentation of Geocron. Any questions from anybody before we close the meeting? Oh, Jim, please.
Okay, one other thing. I will be up at Taylor Park, which is located northwest of here. We go up Valley Boulevard to the Evelyn Mount area, and then sorry. And we're on the west side of the park there. Be up there in about 15 minutes after we close the meeting. We'll have a 10-meter setup. The club radios is a loaner, and it's aimed at primarily the technicians. We'd like to get you up there, and we can get you on the air on 10 meters, and also trained on how to use one of the club loaner radios. So it's a good opportunity to go up there and have a little fun. It'll be in about 15 minutes after we close up here. We're at again. It'll be at the Taylor Park. Basically from here at Jack's, you go west on 7th Street, which is the street right out front here, to the first signal, which is Valley Boulevard. Go north on Valley Boulevard, and you'll see the Evelyn Mount Center. And you'll street just before it, you'll turn in there, and it'll take you around to the west side of the park. And that's where we'll be located. And it'll be a lot of fun to get on the air and get an opportunity to do a little HF operation for those who've never done it before. It's the 10-meter band is in everybody's privileges, so there's no problem there. We'll get you on, maybe make a DX contact and have some fun. So I hope to see a few of you guys up there. Thank you.
Okay, Jim, fantastic. And while Jim was talking, our smart guys behind the scenes fixed the NVQSO problem. So thank you, Tony. Thank you, Doug. It works now, NVQSO. Just want to say this weekend started yesterday at 5, goes to 5 on Sunday, is the All Asian contest. And so when Jim was talking about working some DX, if 10 meters is open to Japan, you can work them. It's a fun contest you can go to. You don't have to be a competitor to be in the contest. You can just work a bunch of guys. There's over 55 countries in Asia as of 2019. So you can go to stars.org, click on the blue button, and read about it and get on the air. Okay, this completes the meeting for today, and I just want to thank Jim we're pinch hitting since we weren't able to have Pat and Giacron because of our display problem here. We'll have them back again. And so this completes the full meeting and presentation for STARS on September 7th, 2024. Have a great day.
Last call for tickets. Want to buy tickets, last call? All right,